Well, greetings, everyone, and welcome to a truly special online event today. It's called Attune to the Frequency of Unconditional Love with Crystals. Experience a mystical crystal activation to heal emotional wounds and find inner peace. My name is Stephen Dine. I'm the founder and CEO of the Shift Network, and I'm really delighted to be with you here, getting to learn from one of the world's foremost experts on crystal healing. Her name is Jacky Winters. She's the founder of the British Academy of Crystal Healing. And it really is deepening our exploration of how crystals can be an amplifier of intention, a organizer, attunement with energy, and to really give us a chance to work with crystals in a way that is contributing to our evolution. So we're going to focus a lot on unconditional love today. And if you want to go further, we're going to have a brand new program with Jacky called Crystal Healing for Emotional Wounds. It will go much deeper into a wider range of applications. We'll share more about that in the latter part of the hour. So with that said, Jacky, thanks so much for joining us today.
Hi, Stephen. It's so lovely to be here. Thank you for inviting me.
Great. Well, I always like to start our time together with a bit of an exploration of your background as a faculty member and what really put you on this path of working with crystals for healing.
Okay, well, my journey with crystal started when I was in my 20s, so 40 years ago. I started with an illness. I had asthma, and it was really debilitating. I was given some steroids and some really strong medication. It was very, very difficult to deal with as I was a mom and a businesswoman and goodness knows what else going on in my life. And then randomly in the street, a lady stopped me and she said, "I feel you could use this crystal." And she gave me a crystal. And I remember thinking, I'll do anything at the moment because I was so out of sync and so poorly. So I took the crystal and sure enough, I started to get better. And I then began to wonder whether it was a placebo effect. In other words, that I thought the crystal would make me better, or whether there was anything from the crystal that was resonating with me and helping me to improve my health. So I started then to explore all of the benefits of working with crystals, and I joined a course. I started working with scientists. I started working, doing research in the National Health Service with terminally ill patients. I started to write books, and I felt that I was becoming a voice for the crystals because the connotation of crystal healing has been very hippified at that particular time. And I really felt the benefit and was learning so much about how the energetic frequencies of these wonderful crystals were having a major impact on mine and other people's health. And I wanted to bring it into mainstream and make it available and bring the knowledge into every day so people could marry the spiritual and the scientists together and have an understanding. So I wrote a course, got it university accredited, and opened the British Academy of Crystal Healing back in 2004. And I'm still learning. It's an amazing, in my opinion, it is an amazing way of being able to reconnect with yourself.
Mm. Well, it's fun. It's interesting you say the field that got kind of hippified and that you're coming a little bit more from the science side. So let's explore that science side and what's your understanding currently of like how a crystal could affect the health of the human body and why?
Well, when you start to understand that the crystals emit a stable frequency, so you find quartz in watches, and the watch then keeps very accurate time because scientists are recognizing that quartz has a wonderful stabilized energy, and it will help keep the watch keep great time. And you'll find crystals in a lot of scientific equipment. For instance, you have LCD screens, you have computers with crystals, and because crystals are emitting what's known as piezo and pyroelectricity, it's a very subtle electrical impulse. And within the human body, when you use crystals correctly and place them in certain places, then you can effect a communication between the resonance of the crystal that has a stable frequency into your own neurological system and start to bring everything back into a more harmonized state of being. And wellness starts to occur because of it. You find this inner stability starts to happen, and each crystal has its own vibratory resonance, so therefore you can use the different frequencies according to what resonance you feel that you want to ingest into your energy field.
That's a great explanation. It's illuminating for me. So in some ways, it's kind of like an entrainment. So it's coming in as like a stable pattern, and then your system starts to entrain to that frequency pattern.
That's correct, yes.
Yeah, that's really fascinating. What is it? And so where in your energy field does a crystal need to be? I mean, you'd be doing it from across the room, or does it need to be within a certain kind of like proximity in order to have that effect?
Okay, well, energy is omnipresent, it's everywhere. So, if you have a large geode in a room, it's emitting an energy and it will, have an impact on the environment where it's been placed. But if you're wanting to work specifically on yourself and implement the energy into your field to maybe overcome some emotional trauma or maybe help you change thought patterns or heal something that is not in harmony within you, then it's ideal to place them on the body or on certain energy locks. And I've worked with JSJ, which is Jin Shin Jitsu, and the Jin Shin Jitsu talks about the energy flow through the body and that there are certain places that the energy locks. And these locks are likened to pressure points. And these locks lock due to attitude. So our attitude can create tension within the body because the body is not allowing the energy to flow correctly because of the attitude that the person is perhaps linked to. There are 5 main attitudes, and the attitudes are worry, fear, anger, sadness, and pretense. And within those categories, there is even more sort of attitudes that are linked to them. Within worry, you can be petrified or tense or concerned, etc. And so when you have an understanding and you start to work with yourself and begin to realize what it is, what strength you need, what you need to move forward with, then it's, you can choose a crystal accordingly, or you can just work by feeling the vibration of a crystal. So you can, choose through hand sensing. We're emitting energy all the time, and we have a resonance that is automated. So when we meet people, sometimes we have an automatic like or dislike to somebody based on the energy that they are emitting. And it's exactly the same with crystals. We have a magnetic resonance that is in the subliminal level of our awareness. It is there all the time, and it's known as intuition.
So when you have like a fear pattern, let's say in your system, then the complementary crystal would be sort of like working to dissolve or dissipate that over time, just kind of like to entrain the pattern out of you.
Absolutely. I feel myself that, self-knowledge is really, really important. And a lot of people will say that, I've consciously recognized that I'm lacking in confidence or I have a fear like you were speaking about. And I'm trying to, relax into that fear and what have you, but I'm struggling. So when you use a crystal, say, for instance, smoky quartz, black tourmaline, or something like that, and place it in the area, and if you aware enough to know where in your body you're carrying that fear, then you could place it directly on the location of where you can sense that fear in the body. Now, fear tends to attack the kidneys and the organs around the kidneys. It can attack other energy. When I say attack, I don't mean literally attack. I mean sort of the resonance will adjust the functioning of the kidneys, which is where we release the adrenaline and what have you. So by placing a smoky quartz or black tourmaline, for instance, on the area of the kidneys, that would definitely start to bring it back into a more harmonic resonance, and the fear, like you say, would subside. But I think everything has a lesson with it. So working shamanically, we begin to realize that a lot of these frequencies within us are there to help us to understand ourselves, evaluate what is the attitude, what is it that is creating the fear, and it gives us an opportunity to know ourselves a lot deeper. So, all right, yes, the smoky quartz will dissolve the fear, but it will only dissolve the fear until you feel that you've integrated the spiritual lesson, the medicine. So if the fear is linked to a fear of confidence, a fear of putting yourself out there. It may be that the medicine to that is to learn to love yourself and believe in yourself a little bit more. So you could utilize a crystal to help bring that self-belief into your energy field, which then will help eliminate the fear. So it's almost like you need to go a little bit deeper. The fear is there for a reason. It's almost like a mask that is presented itself, and it's saying, hey, come and have a look at me. I want to show you a little bit more about yourself. And you can do it independently, but what I've found with the crystals is that it really unearths within, and pun intended, it unearths things within us that help illuminate us to what is actually going on in our genetic makeup and also in our everyday existence, or even in the environment. What are we not sitting comfortably with within the environment that is creating fear within our energy field? And mindset, like I've said previously, attitude contributes so much to the disorder and the disharmony within the body, that when you begin to acknowledge this, the crystals will help you illuminate yourself to what is causing the fear and the disharmony. And then once integrated that energy, the fear will definitely dissolve. But in the first instance, if the fear comes to light, then just using a smoky quartz or a black tourmaline will stabilize that frequency while you investigate what has created the fear in the first place.
It's really fascinating. So a lot of people, it sounds like, might try to approach crystals more just for symptom alleviation, but really the deeper purpose is to sort of this investigation into what's the root cause of whatever imbalances in our system. I really like that perspective. And so how do if people are sort of more oriented towards this, just like, oh, I just want something to go away, how do you sort of like get them to, or how do you encourage them to sort of find the pathway sort of where the crystal is deepening the inquiry rather than just trying to make them feel better?
Okay, so I think first of all, it's empowering people to recognize that, they're in charge of their own healing. First of all, to say to somebody, look, you can investigate, or you can choose just to subdue whatever is presenting itself to you until you're ready to face whatever. There is no, you have to go and, dive deeply into yourself and deal with some sometimes very disturbing emotions that we carry within us. So for me, I would suggest that somebody go very lovingly. We're aiming to return to love. We're aiming to return to truth. And so for me, I would definitely encourage somebody to become more empowered, to realize that, it's entirely up to them, if they are on a journey and they want help and they want to try it to see if it's for them. There are lots of nature's tools out there that will help us to investigate and heal ourselves. We have a plant medicine, we have stone medicine, there are lots out there, and it may be that stone medicine or crystal medicine is there for them. And when they understand that the medicine is the opposite polarity, so when you have fear, the opposite polarity to fear is to learn to, relax and trust. You also may have that somebody comes to you who is feeling unloved, and the medicine is to learn to love yourself, and so sort of empower people to recognize that, try the crystals, see if it's starting to help you feel more at home with yourself, because that's it, more in love with yourself, more in love with life. And that is the journey with crystals, in my opinion, is to return to a place where you feel comfortable with yourself, where you can find love for yourself. And you will never be able to love the world if you're not in love in your own heart with yourself. So the crystals help us to find that reconnection and that journey back to our heart center, to know our truth, to become more empowered, and to, start working with the crystals. There is a nice way, a shamanic way. I like to work shamanically. I don't consider shamanism to be a religion. I see it as a way of life, really, that, the shamans believe that we are here to learn just 3 lessons, and the lessons are unconditional love, to love somebody unconditionally, including yourself, to find security within yourself, not in a job, not in a person, not in anything else, but to find that security within yourself, to feel secure in your heart, And finally, the detachment that everything is changing and that you own nothing. You're here as a visitor to this beautiful planet. And while you're here visiting this beautiful planet, we should all tread very, very gently and lovingly. Within the environment, we have a consciousness. And when we are emitting love, we are in service to the planet as well as to all things. So to find that ability to love really deeply and love yourself, it raises your vibration. You feel good, your health improves, your mindset improves, and you become a magnet for those amazing, beautiful life experiences that become because of it. It's really, truly a selfish journey because you get the most out of it, and the environment and everything, all living entities on the planet benefit from the fact that you are living in joy and happiness and love.
Mm. Beautifully shared. How does this connect? I know you use crystals to access what the Divine Mother as sort of an energetic field within. So maybe share a little bit more about that.
Yeah, absolutely. For me, the Divine Mother, it is not a person, it is a feeling, and whether you've had a good relationship with your mother or not doesn't really matter. It's the ability to mother yourself and to recognize that mothering is the natural frequency of this planet Earth, because, we are provided for, the food is provided for us. We have everything we need, the elements and everything. So when you start to work with your inner self and start to investigate how well you mother yourself, how well you nurture yourself, how well you love yourself, and then recognize how that ability within you will bring you so many benefits. It will help you feel loved. It will help you feel empowered. Your inner voice will become softer. You will feel more capable, more confident. You'll have a connection to a part of you that will never be taken away. It is a part of you that is the ability to love yourself to such a level that it doesn't matter what you do. You're always going to be your best friend. You're going to hold your own hand. You're going to feel safe and connected to this wonderful light. It is a light. I like to call it an ageless light, because the more I'm getting older, the younger I feel.
Nice.
So working with that mother energy brings a youthfulness with you, because you become your own beautiful source of energy. And it really is. And I want to share that with people. I want people to know that you don't have to get lost in the outside world. You can return to this beautiful place inside of you that a lot of us have got lost. We're living in a very what I call farther energy at the moment, the technology, and it's all very great, but a lot of us have got lost in that external world and the demands that are being placed on us and the goals that we're expecting to meet. And I feel it in my heart that I want to help other people have this amazing connection with the truth and the love that's within them, and marry the father energy with the mothering energy and not get lost in the stresses and the demands that society and life is expecting on people. So yeah, I think that people would benefit amazingly with this nurturing, mothering energy that is inside of you.
So how, in specific ways, I know we're going to do a bit of a practice with that, but how are crystals an assist in being able to access that Divine Mother energy?
Absolutely. So we start on a journey with the Divine Mother, and we will, first of all, access our inner world. We're going to do lots of shamanic techniques and things to help you explore, well, the students explore what's going on inside of them. And each time you unveil something that you think, this is not for my highest good, this is concerning me, it's not bringing me joy and love, it's bringing me stress and disorder, then we can work with crystals to help illuminate you to what it is that's creating the disorder within you and the conflict within you and the sadness and the worry, the fear, etc., etc. within you. And then we can use them as a medicine. we can use the crystals to say, right, okay, we've recognized this is what is creating disorder, disharmony within us. And each week we will journey, along with you to help you unveil whatever is going on within inside you, to help you learn more about yourself and use the crystals to ingest into. And I've chosen some amazing crystals. I'm really excited to be sharing them because the energy of the crystals, it's almost like they're waiting to play with us. And I become a child when I'm sharing the energy, because when you start to recognize those, and there is a way of being able to change the channel. And I don't know whether you know or not, but the first radio station was called a crystal set. Because it had a crystal inside there that helped change the frequency so that people could hear different channels. And that's how I see this. Be with this journey within you, it's to change those frequencies within you to, be able to go from, being sad and what have you, and know that you can use a crystal to change the channel. So we work on listening to what's going on inside of you. We work on becoming more aware of how you speak to yourself, how you react and what triggers you and what is creating them conflicts. And then we give you the crystals and we give you the medicine and we give you the techniques to hopefully help you begin to feel whole and loved and walk in your truth with security, knowing that, this is the way life is meant to be.
Beautiful. Well, we'll talk a little bit more about your upcoming course later, but I think this metaphor of a radio tuner, that we're sort of tuning into different frequencies, different channels that then empower us in specific ways, I think is a really great one, and it's also founded on the same crystalline technology. So one question I had that we said we would discuss a bit more was how can you use crystals to sort of get into the deeper layers of a pattern where it may even transcend your own personal experience? It could be an inherited family pattern.
Oh, I love this. I love this. Okay, so nature talks to us. The patterns on the crystals are not just there. Nobody's painted them on. This is nature talking to us. So I love that you were saying about, finding the layers and going below the layers and unearthing within us areas that, and also opening our mind, being able to open our mind to new concepts. So when, for instance, you work with something like blue lace agate or rhodochrosite or malachite, these have all got rings or lines on them. And those rings or lines are denoting that they're saying, basically, it's Mother Nature saying, right, come on, let's take you back. Let's unearth what's below, what's below, what's below. So if you see a crystal and it has lines or striations, is what they actually are, on the crystals, then you can use that crystal effectively to be able to go below what is happening and to get to the root of the problem. Malachite is one of the, in my opinion, strongest crystals because it helps you ascertain truth. It's almost like a truth stone that just, you get to recognize your truth. And sometimes we don't want to see the truth. When we see the truth, what do we do with it? If we begin to realize that we're doing a job that is not lighting up our soul, and we see that that we're doing the job just to find financial security. So when we begin to realize that nature really, really does talk to us, that it helps us to see the truth. And then sometimes when we acknowledge the truth, it's like, I don't want to know the truth because now I recognize that I've got to make some changes, or I have to dig deeper within me to, feel more secure to be able to make these changes. And then you would look for certain crystals that grow in a cubic formation. So when crystals grow in a cubic formation instead of with striations, that brings security. So your pyrite, fluorite, these are crystals that grow in a pattern that is giving you an indication of the vibratory frequency that can be achieved from it. So if you work with pyrite or fluorite, then you will find that you will start to get an inner stability to be able to make the changes that the malachite has revealed to you when you realize that the job is, soulless. Now, one of the things I realized when I was working with malachite was that I felt trapped in a job that I was doing. And the truth was, I'd lost the meaning behind it. And what Malachite did, it helped me realize that, the reason I was doing this job was to help people understand what crystals was all about, to help other people and to be in service. So crystals help us to find below the surface, and the formation and the growth pattern of the crystal will help tremendously understand the energetic frequency that can be achieved by that particular crystal, and then be used with more awareness and efficiency on how it can help you find that internal resonance that we're looking for, to bring that harmony and that stability to be able to make the life choices that are more in keeping with the light in our heart. So when we get out of bed in the morning and we're all joyous and we're going to work because we're doing something incredible, then we are starting to light up, and we are more in tune with our inner light. We're more in tune with our heart, and the crystals will help us get there and feel secure to be able to make those changes.
Beautiful explanation of all this, and I really appreciate this sort of understanding of how different structures in the crystals actually sort of mirror different qualities that you can evoke in yourself. So let's actually do an experiential now. I know you wanted to guide us in more of a direct taste of some of the work that you're offering, and so let's do that now.
Yes, great. So you're going to need a quartz crystal. So I have a couple here. They don't have to be large ones. They can just be small ones. And if you don't have a quartz crystal, then, just go in the garden and just ask Mother Earth to give you a stone until you're in a position to have a quartz crystal. Now, when you're working with the quartz, the oscillation of the energy that is coming is a very stable frequency. So what I want you to do is to start to activate that crystal by rotating the crystal around in your hand. And what you're doing by doing this is you're creating an energy within yourself. You're moving the crystal, you're moving your energy, and you're starting to connect to the energy of the crystal, and stroke the crystal as well. Just stroke it, because then your energy, because we have metabolic energy, kinetic energy, we have neurological energy, we have photonic energy, all in our auric field and in our body. And when we move this crystal, then we are interacting with the energy of ourselves and the piezo and pyro electrons within the crystal. When you rotated the crystal for a while, you'll start to feel a tiny stickiness. Now, the shamans used to bang the crystals together, smash the crystals together to get the energy working. But I like this method because this is waking your crystal up and getting you to be in resonance with your crystal. So then I just want you to place your crystal in your hands and just start to bring awareness within, and very gently close your eyes. And we're going to work with the breath. So as you breathe out, exhale, and allow yourself to relax as much as possible, and imagine that you're releasing all negative energy. And when you fully exhaled, there's always a little bit more to be able to exhale, so just release that little bit more and then hold in the void. And then when you breathe in, I want you to imagine that you're breathing in light. Breathe it in and take in as much light as you can with your breath, and then hold. And just do this a couple of times. Exhale. Hold. Breathing out all negativity, and breathe in light. And hold. And then when you're ready, I'd like you to blow your light into the crystal. Just blow on your crystal. And imagine that you're putting your essence into the crystal, your light. So you and the crystal are beginning to get a connection. And then I'd like to take your crystal and place it in the hollow of underneath your little finger. On the wrist is an energy lock. On the outside of your hand, in your wrist, just place the crystal on the wrist and hold it there. And now when we use the breath, Inhale the light through your crystal. Allow the oscillation of the crystal to magnify your beautiful light, and draw that light up your arm with awareness. And as you exhale, doesn't matter how far up your arm, you just then relax. Exhale, and then breathe in again. And as you do so, imagine bringing the light in through the crystal, taking it up the arm and into your heart. You have nothing to do now, but just be, allowing the crystal to send a constant supply of light to your heart. Just breathing in light, exhaling, and holding the exhalation so you hit the void, the nothingness. Slowly inhale again, bringing the light in and hold. And then we're going to use the mind and our intention to move the light from the heart. And bless the whole of the body with love and truth. See the light now entering into your veins and arteries. And ask the crystal to magnify the energy of love and truth. And direct it throughout your body, coming in through the wrist and going to every part of your body, every cell in your body, filling with the light every time you breathe in and every time you exhale. Just let any negative energy, any distorted patterns, any conflict, any fear, any worry, any anger, any sadness, any pretense, let it go. And then breathe back in light, filling your whole body with love, with truth. And as you exhale, release and let go of that does not bring you joy. The light will purify it. Gaining a deeper sense of trust, becoming more content within yourself, finding inner peace, resonating with joy, and honoring your truth. Breath is life energy. Use your breath to bring the light from the crystal throughout your body. The lock we're working on at the base of your wrist is where the neurological energy gets congested. So it softens the nerves, releases anxiety, brings you into a heart coherence. Allow the crystal and trust that you and the crystal will begin to resonate to a stable oscillation bringing security, stability, connection to the heart. Breathing in, light, exhaling negativity, and just become the observer now. Open your mind to anything can happen. Open your mind to limitless and allow the experience to get brighter with every in-breath, to become magnified and back into a nice, stable energy, the divine light, the mother within you. Fear, worry, anger, and sadness and pretense cannot exist in the light. Now, without forcing anything, allow yourself to surrender that little bit more into softness, to trust that little bit deeper that all is well in the world. Imagine yourself becoming pure light. Now just feel and sense, how does your body feel? Do you feel a little bit more emotionally stable? Is your mind at peace? Keep breathing in the light, expanding your awareness. So you are not just now a human anymore. You can expand your energy out and feel and sense beyond the human experience. Do you feel the expansion of your auric field to incorporate the whole of the world? You're not just an individual, you're part of a collective, a cell in a mass of consciousness. Relaxed, at peace, illuminated. And this release, expansion from the experience of being human helps us to come back into our heart coherence with our mind settled, our emotions harmonized, and a deeper understanding of the experience we're having in life. Remove the crystal now and just see how your body feels. Does it feel slightly lighter? Do you feel heavier? Did you get hot? Did you have any sensations? Just take a moment to observe. How did the crystal make you feel? You know, for me, when I expand my energy and just sit in that nothingness, it feels so amazing.
Mm. You know, what a beautiful example of how to really combine a deep meditation with crystal enhancement and getting to entrain with that purity of vibration and frequency. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Hmm. Do you want to share more about how to sort of build that into kind of a deeper practice over time?
Yeah, sure. So working with the crystals, really, this is just to sort of introduce you to how the crystal can magnify intention within the body. You know, when the mind sets an intention, then we can sit there and we can try and meditate and we can try and do all these things independently. But when we incorporate the crystals do start to magnify and bring that stability to be enable us to be able to achieve it. Now, there are lots of different techniques that we can use with crystals. Some of the most easy ones are to wear crystals as jewelry. You know, the Egyptians and the Native American Indians used to adorn themselves with crystals for medicine. You know, they saw forgiveness and love and you know, those kind of attributes as being a medicine. And if they felt they needed them, they would adorn their body with them. So jewelry was often worn to help people gain insight. For instance, the Egyptians would wear lapis lazuli on their kings and queens so that they had insight and they would be good leaders. But then you can use the crystals where you are putting them on the body in layouts. You can, you know, we in the course we're going to explore using them in sacred ceremony, in baths, and goodness knows what else we're going to do with them. But the different things that you can do with the crystals will enhance your ability. With only having a short time on our wonderful conversation here, you know, there wasn't a great deal that I could do to explore. The intention was to help you realize the effect that the crystal can have just in them short 10 minutes. You can just carry a crystal with you and you can bring yourself into resonance really quickly when you begin to understand what's happening. So using the crystals you can use them dowsing, you can use them in layouts, you can put them around plants. You can grid your home when you begin to understand that there are energy lines running through the ground, and that a lot of churches were built on energy lines because the ancients understood them. So there's so many things that you can work with using crystals to enhance the environmental energy as well as your own personal energy, as well as working with the plant kingdom, with the animals. I've done a lot of work with crystals with animals. That's been phenomenal. And some of the animals, sometimes when I'd go to visit them when they were having crystal healing, one of the horses used to stand there with its leg up because it had a damaged leg. And so they have no mind that is impeding their acknowledgement of energy. They don't have that. So it's a lot easier to work with animals and plants and watch how they respond to the crystalline energy. But if you're wanting to work with crystals more, there is so many ways you can utilize them. So for instance, just simply holding the crystal that we have used today, just holding a clear quartz and very gently tapping on your chest. And as you tap on your chest with it, just ask for a trust or ask for whatever it is that you feel you need in the moment, you know, and just very gently tap on your sternum there, and you will find that you'll start to awaken that energy within you, because it is within you. The crystal isn't putting that energy into you. You already have it. It is just subdued. So when you tap on your chest, the crystal is awakening that vibration within you to come to the surface, so you can get that resonance that you require to give you whatever it is that you are looking for, you know, safety, stability, confidence, whatever you are looking for. Then just simply tapping the crystal on your chest will work. There are lots of different things that you can do with crystals if you want to study, but just something like that, something so easy as that. Now, I like to work with the crystals on your pulse points, because I find that the body takes the energy more quickly working on pulse points. We've just today worked on the wrist, which is here, which is an energy where the mind energy gets locked. So if you're an overthinker, the energy experiment that we have just done there, the experience we've just done there, will help you with overthinking. It will help bring your mind more into peace and help you find that mental peace that you're looking for. But just tapping it on your chest will also help you to bring to the surface the vibrational frequency that you are looking to enhance your day. So carrying a crystal with you, a lot of people carry them on a chain or wear them on a chain. You can simply tap them, but there are lots that you can do with crystals.
Well, it's clear the whole world can open up. And one other question that I was thinking about is that we live in such tumultuous times, and there's a lot of outer world chaos. And anything that you really find is sort of particularly good to sort of recenter, if you're sort of in a state of kind of agitation or confusion, that sort of like immediately kind of brings you back.
Well, we can. One of the things I like to do is, I have my home gridded. Because when you grid your home, you've got like a little sanctuary where you're coming back to harmony after you've had a busy day. Or if you work from home, then you have that sanctuary of energy. And I like to work with the energy of the land and with the energy of the crystals. But if you're looking at bringing your energy back into, so for instance, I have some friends that have anxiety. And so they wear some crystals. Amethyst is a good crystal that you could wear. Aventurine is a great crystal that you could wear. And again, placed on the wrist here, I've said before, the pulse points are a great way of being able to feel the resonance of the crystal, either directly or indirectly. If you're not very energetically aware, you may find that you are not consciously acknowledging the energy of the crystal. You're just noticing that I'm not quite as anxious as I was previously. Could it be the crystal? Could it not? You might not be actually feeling your crystal resonating with you, but using something like amethyst, using aventurine on your wrist will definitely help with any kind of anxiety and start to bring you back into coherence. You can use a crystal tapping, as we've just said, to help you find that coherence. If you're in if you're working in an office or in a place where there are people that are quite negative. I know we get a lot of nurses who come on the courses, and aura combing is a really great way of being able to bring your energy field back into harmony. And you literally use a crystal and just very gently comb it through your energy field, and kyanite or amethyst would be great crystals to do this with. And I know the nurses, because when you're working somewhere like a hospital, you're surrounded by poorly people who are obviously not vibrating to, the energy levels that we would like. So they're dealing with a lot of dense energetic debris. So using something like kyanite or amethyst to comb through your energy field, if you're one of those kind of people that you're in service and you find there's a heaviness around of you, or if you work in a job that is too demanding of you, then, maybe consider using something like rhodochrosite to put boundaries in place. And you'll find that when you carry a piece of rhodochrosite, you'll start to perhaps kindly say, I'm so sorry, but I can't do that. Find a way of being able to put boundaries in place, but coming from a place of love when you do so you don't end up creating more energetic disturbances by saying, oh, I said no, and now I feel really guilty. So rhodochrosite is really great at helping you very kindly finding the way to be able to say, I'm so sorry, but I can't do that. And keep that inner harmony instead of one change in personality creating another disturbance within you because you've made a change to your regime, trying to find that stable energy within you, because it does have a knock-on effect. You can make a change and think this is the way that I want to go forward in a heart-based resonance, but it can unlock other things within us. So rhodochrosite is great, and just, carry them on your person, put them in a pocket. I like to use shaman pouches, which are little pouches, and I put a few crystals in there. And actually, I pop them in my bra, but you can actually put them in your pocket. You can, I've been through the airport sometimes, and people, I've been stopped at the scanner. What is that? I'm like, oh, it's just my crystals. It's my shaman pouch. So you can put together what they call a medicine pouch and carry them around with you. Guys, you might want to look at, popping them in your pocket instead of trying to, incorporate cross-dressing or anything. But yeah, it is great fun when you start working with the crystals and recognize that, a little shaman pouch, a little crystal pouch on you is really going to help heighten your vibration and help you feel more in that zone where the world isn't bothering you the way it used to, and not getting lost in that constant bombardment. I mean, we have in the atmosphere, don't we? We have the electromagnetic energy. And I know a lot of tech people are saying that the energy from 6G and 5G is traveling so fast that we are, living in a world where we never have any time, and we wonder why we have no time. So is that technology having an effect on us? You can use something like Amazonite to slow those resonances down so that your field doesn't start vibrating to that hyper energy that is in this high-tech world that we live in.
Well, Jacky, it's clear that you have such a wealth of knowledge, and there's a whole world of healing opportunities to open up here. So let's talk more explicitly about your upcoming course, since it's an amazing opportunity to learn from you and really get the distilled wisdom from all your years of practice. So Jacky's going to be teaching this brand new course for Shift. It's called Crystal Healing for Emotional Wounds, Sacred Stone Practices to Transform Stuck Patterns into Unconditional Love, Inner Security, and Empowerment. You can find it at the URL crystalemotionalhealing.com, crystalemotionalhealing.com. It's a 7-week program. You don't have to have any previous background with crystals. So, Jacky, I'd love to hear some of your intentions for what people will walk away with.
Okay, so when I wanted to put this course together, I felt it would be really important to help people get out of what I call the father energy, which is the logic, the technology, etc. Not that we don't need it, we do, but we need to marry it. We need to bring ourselves home, and we need to learn to mother ourselves. And when we do that, we'll find that inner stability. We won't have that reliance on the outside world the same. Like I was saying before about the shamans helping us to learn how to love unconditionally, because we get lost in the mind. We get lost in that mind chatter. And the course is to help you, first of all, feel more empowered, so that you're not needing, a lot of people find that, I need this or I need this in my life to be self-sufficient, and basically you don't. You'll find that when you start to journey within and connect to this inner mothering energy, that you will start to feel more empowered. You won't have a need, you'll have a love of. And there's a huge difference. When you have a need for something or someone, then you have a vibration that's not particularly good. But when you have a love of, oh, it takes it to a whole new level. So for me, this course is to help people to become more empowered, to feel more secure within them, to vibrate to the energy of love, and to get out of their mind, to make that journey down into their heart. And once that unification happens, when we are heart-led, then the father energy, the technology, and everything will just come and support us, and we'll have this wonderful union where we feel safe, because many of us don't feel safe. We are lost in a world where we're goal-orientated, the demands that we're putting on ourselves. So yeah, the course is to help you make that return to the heart, and to help you feel more empowered, to help you feel more confident, and to help you feel more loved.
Beautiful. Let's do a quick tour of the modules. So module 1 is called Meet the Mother Within, working with rose quartz and moonstone to heal emotional patterns.
Yes, yes. So we are in module 1. We're going to do a sacred journey into the sacred waters. So basically, we're going to experience the Divine Mother as a feeling of safety and nourishment. We're going to identify any limiting beliefs that you are maybe carrying. We're going to do self-discovery, and we're going to begin the healing journey. So we're going to look at everything. You know that the earth is 70% water and you are 70% water. So when you go into your inner water and the water is emotion and we journey into that area of ourselves, we start to recognize the emotions within us and what is really below the surface.
Module 2, healing ancestral patterns with hematite.
Okay, so a lot of the times things come to us and we're like, why am I reacting like that? What is it that, why does that person trigger me and this person doesn't trigger me? And they are inherited beliefs or traits from our ancestors. And the magnetic energy of hematite is amazing at bringing stability to help you be able to connect to the genetic inheritance and identify it and find where these traits are within you that you may want to bring to the surface and heal and love and find a more cohesive energy and use crystals to help us to bring that part of us that needs healing back into a beautiful space.
Module 3, the inner nurturer, awakening your ageless light for deep unconditional love with selenite.
Oh, I love selenite. So here we're going to start to realize that, we are an ageless light, or some people call it the soul. I like to call it the ageless light because it's that part of you that is the spirit within you, that wonderful spirit. And like I say, I'm in my 60s and I have this inner spirit of a child, and that's what we want to ignite. We want to ignite that child, that light inside of you, that ageless light, that part of you that never grows up, and we want to really nurture it and we want to bring it up and we want to be the mother to that ageless light. And we're going to use some amazing techniques that I can't wait to share with you to bring that more into your awareness and into your experience of being.
Module 4, the voice of the mother, transforming your inner dialogue with clear quartz.
Absolutely. So one of the things is that we need to address when we're learning how to nurture ourselves is how we communicate with ourselves. What is the voice that's inside of you? Are you self-criticizing? Are you, talking to yourself in any kind of negative way? And we want to address that and we want to turn the dial. We want to change the channel so that you can become more empowered and you can encourage yourself and you can be the one who taps yourself on the back and says that you've done a great job. And we're going to look at empowering dialogue and which crystals can help you find a way of being able to become more empowered.
Module 5, the divine love of a mother, releasing shame and returning to self-love with rhodonite.
Okay, so we've spoken a little bit about how crystals can help us identify things. Now, sometimes we misconceive what love is. So sometimes we think that, love, we learn that when we're wounded, they did it because they love me. And so when we begin to untangle what love is to us and we learn how to forgive, how to truly find a way of being loved. Sometimes when we feel sorry for somebody or we stay in a relationship because we feel sorry or we are nursing someone or we are, in service to someone, caring for someone and inside it's not really working, we're doing it not from a point of love. And we can get lost in that and not realize that. And then when we use something like rhodonite, we can change that and we can help ourselves to move into that vibration of love. So the external world changes, but only changes because now you're resonating from love instead of feeling sorry for, instead of, doing the things that are not bringing that light of love into you.
Module 6, learning to trust the creator, awakening joy and self-expression with orange calcite.
Okay, so I love this week because what we're going to be doing is looking at how to get creative. So being in the teaching profession, I used to get lost in the bureaucracy and have to write lots and lots of reasons why I was doing this. And the creative part of creating the class that I was doing was lost. And, so I was getting bogged down by the demands that were being placed on me. But when you just go, right, I'm shutting the door on the demands now and I'm going to get creative. Now, orange calcite inspires you. So you may find in this section that you start to maybe look at playing an instrument, or something that's going to bring you real joy and take you out of the mold that you've created for yourself to experience things that maybe you'd never even considered experiencing. I can't wait to do this week.
And finally, module 7, embodiment and integration, grounding into the motherland with earth gridding.
Okay, so when we have embodied this nurturing energy within us, when we've changed the inner dialogue, when we have embraced that ageless light and nurtured ourselves, and when we have started then to become a creator of life, we then begin to realize that we are more connected with the earth, and that is who the earth is. She's a creator. She's always creating life. And there are energy lines in the earth, very similar to us. Like we have a neurological system, she has ley lines running through it, and there are lines of energy. So in this module, I want to introduce you on how to identify these ley lines and to be able to utilize these consciousness of working on your community now. So we're spreading the energy from personal to opening it up to using crystals to grid the land and creating that energy within your community. And I've had amazing results with this. We have discovered that unsavory neighborhoods have become sought after areas after we have worked with the energy of the land, and it has transformed that energy into love and truth. And yeah, so I'm so excited to be able to share this with you guys. It's a real journey, and I'm sure that you're going to massively benefit from it. And I can't wait to deliver it. I'm so excited.
Yeah, well, it's clear how passionate you are about this and how knowledgeable. So let's share a few other things about it. So again, it's all at crystalemotionalhealing.com. If you choose to move forward, you're going to get those 7 90-minute live sessions with Jacky, which are going to be packed full of great insights, exercises, time to ask your questions. You also get recordings of every session, both video and audio, as well as word transcripts. There'll be weekly practices for home, a community to support you and deepen your experience. And there's a number of bonuses that Jacky's added that are also super valuable. There's a previously recorded video teaching on crystal medicine. There's an ebook called Messages from Mother Earth, Volume 1. And today, if you sign up by midnight tonight, you're also going to get a third special bonus, which sounds really great. It's called Crystal Grid to Raise the Energy of Heart Within the Home. Jacky, you want to share a little bit more about that special bonus folks get if they sign up today?
Wow. Okay, so we live in our homes, and often without realizing it, the walls and the resonance of the land is having an impact on you, whether you realize it or not. So what I wanted to do is to show you how to identify areas to place your crystals, to connect to the energy of the land, and to bring that energy of the land into a heart energy. Oh, it's amazing. And what I found is students have said to me, oh, my child who is autistic is so much calmer now. Or, me and my husband's relationship has improved so much since we have gridded our home, and the heart energy is in there. Oh, it is an amazing exercise. It really makes a difference. You don't need loads of crystals. The crystals are recommended on there, but, it's really quite easy to do. It will take you probably around about an hour, that's all. But the benefits are really, really incredible. And yeah, not just you benefits from it. Everything, the dog, the cat, whatever, whoever is living in your house, you start to find that we are kinder with each other, that, it's a wonderful exercise, and I truly hope you enjoy it.
Hmm. What a beautiful extra bonus, and your passion and your knowledge is so infectious, really. Just it's so great to listen to everything you have to share. So it's going to be a great program. We've kept the investment very accessible for you. It's just 3 payments of $128, or you can save 10% when you pay in full with one payment of $349. The course is going to start July 21st and run Tuesdays at 9 a.m. Pacific, and that's noon Eastern, and also works really well for all the European time zones as well. And you'll also see on the page there are great testimonials about the power of Jacky's work and knowledge, and really the impact of this work in people's lives. So you're in really good hands. You get the benefit of decades of deep research and understanding that are flowing into a really sophisticated system for working with crystal healing. So again, it's all at crystalemotionalhealing.com, and you'll get that special bonus of the crystal grid to raise the energy of the heart within the home when you sign up by midnight tonight. So Jacky, what a great hour with you. Anything that's still on your heart you want to share with folks who are considering doing your course?
Well, all I can say is the amount of people that have said to me, crystals have changed my life, and the amount of people that have said to me, I've got crystals all over the place and I have no idea what to do with them. Well, I'm telling you now, they really will. When you understand how to use them and follow some of the techniques, they really do change your life. They bring awareness, insight, illumination. And, you're always a student, or I feel I'm always a student. And I just want to say to anybody who's considering joining me, I would be truly, truly honored to walk this transformational journey with you and help you unlock that higher aspect of yourself and that more joy and love in your life. And yeah, be truly grateful.
Beautiful. Well, thank you so much for your passion, your depth of knowledge, and your offering here today. And the course is going to be an amazing offer, I'm sure. So thank you so much, Jacky. Thank you all for joining. Again, you can sign up for Jacky's course at crystalemotionalhealing.com, and you'll get that special bonus when you sign up by midnight. So thank you so much.